Hey guys, welcome to another session here at Mom Power 360. We're super excited to have you. And on occasion of Breastfeeding Week Awareness Week, we are doing this special session with Dr. Deepa, and I would like to introduce her in a bit. And before that, welcome everybody who is joining us. So Dr. Deepa, thanks for being here with us. And so Dr. Deepa Sharma has 15 years of experience in pediatric and neonatal. All right. All right, let me go with this again. So Dr. Deepa Sharma has 15 years of experience in pediatric and neonatal intensive care, specializing in level 3 NICUs and caring for extreme preterm babies. She has worked at top institution in Hyderabad and Bangalore with a focus on non-invasive ventilation, point of care ultrasound, and developmental supportive care in NICU. Dr. Sharma is dedicated to a family-centered approach to care, has participated in quality improvement projects, and is passionate about teaching and training nurses and neonatal fellows. So thank you so much for joining us. And I know you were saying it's been a busy day, treating a lot of children, a lot of babies. So thank you for taking your time out. And on the occasion of Breastfeeding Awareness Week, I would like to kind of dive deep into that. And as a mother myself, I'm a mom of three, and those of you who are just joining in, I'm a mom of three boys. I have a 4-year-old, a kid who just turned 10, and a 13-year-old boy. And with all my three children, I breastfed each one of them for 2 years straight. And I think it's one of the best thing ever to attach with children. So I'm quite passionate about this topic. And I really feel it's convenient for moms as well that dealing with washing the bottle and sterilizing and making formula. So we're here to spread the awareness. So Dr. Deepa, what's your take on that? The importance of breastfeeding. Generally, we kind of hear it, but from your point of view, from a child's health perspective.
So definitely, I think it's the best thing a mom could offer to her baby. And
Mhm.
the science is the nature is such that it has defined or it has made mother's milk so unique that if your baby is born preterm,
Mhm.
the mother's milk is different compared to what it is for a term baby. And as
Really?
the baby grows, the mother's milk composition would keep changing according to the baby's needs. So any
Mhm.
kind of milk, even if like, you say a formula or any animal milk, nothing can, even come close to mother's milk. So I would
Right.
really urge everybody to, try and breastfeed their baby, and let's spread this word. Let's, as a community, support each other to breastfeed. So it's not just good for your baby, but for y'all as well. So mothers, why would it be useful to you is that, it would help to reduce the risk of cancers later on. Immediately after delivery, it helps the uterus to contract, and then it would reduce the risk of bleeding and minimize the bleeding post delivery. And it immediately helps to form this instant bond with your baby, which nothing else could, match. So the milk, which is not just, I say species specific, which means that the human milk is designed in a way which is good for your baby, a human baby. Same way an animal milk, a cow's milk is good for its own calf. It is not designed to be, given to your a human baby. So that is how we have to utilize this gift which the nature has given us, and utilize it in the best way possible.
That's amazing point. And I learned some few extra points. I didn't realize that the milk is different with the preterm babies and the full-term babies.
Yes, definitely. So the requirement for a preterm baby is like you need a little more calories, you need some more
Mhm.
protein for the faster growth compared to
Mhm.
a term baby. And that's how, as the baby grows, the nature of milk would also keep changing. As the baby becomes a 6-month-old baby, that then also the milk is changing. So that is how unique, and it is evolving as the baby grows. So we need to, utilize it. And not just for moms, that breastfeeding is good for your babies as well. So it's giving you the, right temperature of feed. It is giving you lot of antibodies to protect against infections. It's allowing you to, reduce risk of allergies in the baby. So we must utilize all its benefit. It's giving you the correct nutrition in the quantities that the baby requires. So it is all useful, which, we have to, make use of this and encourage each other to, breastfeed the babies.
That's a great point. And body certainly is such a unique machine, and
Yeah.
even a factory setting couldn't switch so quickly. And body does, and it's incredible that as mothers we have power to do so without even realizing we do,
Yes.
and at the same time protecting the child.
Yes.
So that's fabulous. You know, but some of them want to breastfeed, but some have challenges. So what do you suggest for women like that who find it challenging, even though they want to? And I've met quite a few women like that who really want to, but they really struggle with it.
Yes. So see, what I urge is get your breast examination done in the last trimester of your pregnancy. Look at things which can be sorted out, like say a flat nipple or an inverted nipple. There are techniques which can be started out even before delivery to prepare your breast, for feeding the baby. Also, now we have support in the form of lactation nurses and counselors, doctors who are helping you out breastfeed the baby. In case there is help which is required, get the correct help and try and sort out the issue. So, if there is an issue that, say, the breast milk is not enough, then we know that, you need to start having a good nutritious diet. There are some things in the food which is called as galactogogues, which help in increasing the breast milk production. So maybe things like, say, dill leaves or jeera, extra jeera in your food, some things like garlic, all of this would help to increase your breast milk production. Also, you need to start feeding early and not just give up in the first 2 3 days, because the quantity is not important in the first 2 to 3 days. The baby's stomach capacity is as small as a cherry in the first 2 to 3 days. So don't look at the volume of milk. It's the quality of milk which is more important. So what you need to look at is that small amount of colostrum is rich in calories and rich in antibodies. It is as good as liquid gold. So, it's that precious. So you should never think of that, my milk is not enough. And we are there to support you. That is our duty, to guide you through this process of breastfeeding and make it simpler for the mother and the baby as well. There can be issues wherein the baby has, say, a cleft lip or a cleft palate, which are conditions where the baby is not able to suck, or the mother has a flat nipple or an inverted nipple. In these cases, we do have techniques. Say, we can give you a nipple shield, we can advise you a nipple puller, we can advise you some exercises which would help you to, start breastfeeding and make sure that the latching is effective.
Mhm. Those are great points. Now, would you recommend like how long should a mother breastfeed a child according to your standards?
So, 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding is advised.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
after that, we start complementary feeding, which means we start the baby on some semi-solids like, say, vegetable purees, some porridge, and fruit purees. And then we go on, when we, alongside the breastfeeding has to continue. And this would go on till 2 years. Some mothers may even extend it. So, as long as you and your baby are comfortable, you can continue breastfeeding. So, we
mhm,
advise that at least till 2 years, you should continue breastfeeding along with complementary feeding. However,
mhm.
exclusive breastfeeding is for the first 6 months after birth.
Right. Now, I totally found breastfeeding such easy way of doing things, and you know, waking up at night to make formula just didn't make sense. And also, it's just so cozy to feed a child and to bond with the child. So, and highly recommend and to continue doing it. In fact, my son is like 4. He still has a habit of trying to reach. I was like, no, you're old enough now. But I think it's just the bond is just so special. Now, tell me about the moms who are working, because that's another challenge. Stay-at-home moms can do it to a certain extent, but the one who are working find it challenging. And that's one of the probably the biggest reasons why women tend to stop feeding, because it's hard when you're away.
Yeah, sure. So, what we advise is when you know you have your maternity leave gonna end by say 6 months. So by about 5 months, we start training you to start pumping your milk. So get the baby used to having pumped milk, say once a day or so that the baby gets used to having this milk even when you are not around. And say the grandmother or your sister or any help around can feed the baby when you're not around. So you can store the express milk in the room air for about 4 hours, in the refrigerator for about 48 hours, and in the freezer up to 3 months. So you get the feeding bags, which are nothing but like a Ziploc bag where you store the milk, put in the date and time, and save it for the baby to use. Whenever you take it out, you can thaw the milk from the freezer and bring it to room temperature and put it in a vessel with hot boiled water. Do not microwave your milk or do not heat it on the gas stove. So this is how you would get the baby to be fed when you are not around and you are at work. Also, when, if possible, we would advise you to have a work schedule which is slightly flexible. If it allows you to come back, say, take a break or two during your working schedule, and then come back and feed the baby. So, definitely a hybrid kind of a working environment helps moms, and this is what we've been advocating. Lot of corporates to do the same, and follow this so that it helps have more and more women into their workplace.
Right,
Also,
absolutely.
yeah, so if we also have a lactation room, that would also help, because once you get back to work, you are used to having feeding the baby every 2 to 3 hours. So suddenly you go back and have a 6 hour stretch where you do not pump or feed the baby. You may have milk kind of, you may have your breast leaking or suddenly feeling too tight at work. So that is where it's important, where you get these lactation breaks where you can go pump the milk and then store it, which you can use it later. However, this is quite challenging because some workplaces do not have this facility or this kind of a space available. So, if say you are working in a IT kind of a park, I know many of them have now started having this facility. So, kindly avail it and then pump the milk and carry your own breast pump, pump your milk, store it, and get it back when for your baby to be fed.
Right, that's a great point. In fact, one of the things we are working at Mom Power 360 is to involve corporates to support mothers, whether it's having the lactation room or allowing them the breaks to go pump and even possibly bring the child over if it's an infant. So we are closely, talking to a whole bunch of corporates about it to implement, because I feel like when you're talking to empowering mothers, we cannot do it until we have the whole support and the community support and the corporate support coming in all direction and all forms. And as you said, I think that definitely helps women to stay longer in workforce as well without compromising the need of a child.
Yes.
And so I'm going to like open up for questions in a bit. Now, before that, let's talk about even the immunity aspect. Breastfeeding is such a beautiful like a nature's medicine or nature's cure for a child, in terms of antibodies going through mother's milk to the child. Let's talk a little bit more on that, or your take on it.
Yeah, so definitely the IgA antibodies are, transferred to the baby through the mother's milk. There are a lot of other good substances as well and antibodies which go along from the mother's milk to the baby. So this is called as the first vaccine your baby receives. because it is like a powerhouse of lot of antibodies, and this is definitely going to protect your baby from ear infections, respiratory infections, allergies, or say diarrheal episodes. So a lot of them that would be reduced for the baby even before you start your actual vaccination schedule. So you're already getting the baby vaccinated against a lot of illnesses before even starting out the vaccination.
Right. Remember with my other children when they used to be sick, it's like, I would hang out with them. My husband's like, so why are you doing that again? When you get infected, like you're literally the sneezing on your face. I'm like, that's fine, because that's a great way to get the immunity going for the little one through breastfeeding. It's almost like my body is recognizing it and helping the child. And I could see the difference with how much more stronger they were. So that's, I feel like, is a great benefit. I'm going to open up questions for, like, if anybody wants to hop on. I would like to keep it interactive. So please feel free to join in if you want to ask doctor any questions directly, and would you like to share your experience or concerns? And you could raise the hand and just me can let you guys in. So while we wait, if you have any other points, Dr. Deepa, you would like to add on it?
Yes, so I would say that, in our society, things are getting better. Earlier, it was just, the mom's duty to just keep every time the baby cries, everybody is shoving the baby to the mom and saying, go feed the baby. Every time it cries, it's like, oh, you haven't fed, and that kind of a scenario in most of the houses. But
Right.
I think now, as things are evolving, I find dads are more hands-on. And I
Hmm.
think it takes the whole house, the whole community,
Totally.
and the society to, help mothers breastfeed. So
Hmm.
I know this is Mom Power 360 is all about mothers being here, but I would say your rest and your health is also very important. So, if you are in pain after delivery because of your stitches and sutures, and if you need, you've been awake 3 whole nights or say the whole week, and so get a little bit help. Somebody can,
Hmm.
help you to, pacify the baby and just, carry the baby around. And, you get help in the form of your community, what we are doing right here. And also, like, the workplace also has to be supportive. We as healthcare practitioners are definitely going to be supporting you all to breastfeed, and any kind of help, reach out to your closest pediatrician and lactation counselors to make this journey easy and smooth for you.
No, absolutely. Family help is so important.
Yeah.
Remember, like, and also I feel like we should, and as women and as mothers, it's very important to express and voice it and get help that you need, and not assume that everybody will automatically do it, because sometimes they're in autopilot, and it's important to word it and ask for help when needed. With my three children, the deal was my husband takes care of me, I take care of the children. So it was great because he was my such a support system. And so I was able to focus on the child. And living in the US, we didn't have the kind of help or the support or the family support like back in India. So feel like relying on each other is a great thing, and getting that extra help, whoever could be around. And sleep, oh my God, the sleep when babies are little are like the best sleep. So when you're sleep deprived, things are, a bit harder too.
Yes.
So yes, take breaks, rest up as much as you can whenever baby sleeps, and bond with the child while feeding is a beautiful thing. And I feel like that's the way they can make the most out of this beautiful journey called motherhood. And I think we're almost 5 minutes. I'm gonna have 5 minutes before we end, and I feel like there are a few more who are lactation consultant, who are some of the members. Just me, they're there around too, if they would like to pitch in and add their bit. Okay. Is it Lukmita Pavaskar? Would you like to add something? Okay, feel free to unmute and join the conversation. Would love to have your feedbacks and your opinions as well. This is a community. I would love for your engagement going. So go ahead and join in. And meanwhile, with can't unmute. Okay, just meet with you. Could you unmute, Lokmita?
Yes.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hi, Lokmita.
Yeah, one of the best innovative, the group that I would say here. And yes, we are celebrating World Breastfeeding Week from 1st to 8th August. And Dr. Deepa has really, nailed each and every information out here. Very, very glad that this session has been conducted. And of course, as Deepa has mentioned, that antenatal counseling is one of the most important thing that we should look into, where we prepare the mothers and the couples, also the families, and then basically educating them on the importance of breastfeeding is the key. Also, like training the support staff in the hospital is also one of the most important thing that, should be taken care into. Otherwise, yes, Dr. Deepa has really, taken into account each and every aspect of breastfeeding and really great, great session.
Absolutely. Thank you for adding those points. And yes, like training everybody, getting everybody on the same page is so critical. Sometimes
Yes, yes,
mother
yes.
might want to, but life circumstances probably wouldn't allow. There might be extra, especially if they're outside, they're not sure how to breastfeed the child. That's another huge topic that we hear all the time. What do you do when you're outside? And I would recommend carrying one of
Exactly.
those breastfeeding feeding cover. If your child is hungry, you got to do what you got to
Yes,
do, and it's not
yes,
about others, it's about you and the child. And I don't see a point why you shouldn't. It's not about, it's nothing immoral about it. It's the
yes,
most beautiful
yes,
natural thing, and we need to embrace that and should be okay with it. So yes, and then even with training the staff in the hospital, I feel like it's such a great point, because I remember with my first child, he had problem latching on. And if the lactation consultant that they didn't train us the right way, probably as a new
yes,
mother,
yes.
probably I wouldn't have gone through. Maybe I could have felt it's difficult and given up, because I was
Very true.
and I was given direction. I had somebody helping me the first 2 days, that this is how it is, and teaching me the method gave me the confidence to come back and continue feeding through like all my three pregnancies with all my three babies. So just
Very
that
true.
starting them on a right path is a great thing.
Yes. So also I would like to say certain things about the certifications, that we have different certification for lactation counselors also. Like one is the lactation professionals and counselors, and the rest is like the IBCLCs, internationally board certified lactation consultants. They are the
Mhm.
only ones who can say they are the lactation consultants, So getting in touch with the right LC or the right lactation consultant also makes a difference. So
Mhm.
because that's how the mother gets the right information that is scientific and evidence based, and doesn't become confused to what else to do, post delivery and in the postpartum period. So
Right.
that is one of the most important thing we should understand.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for those amazing points.
Yeah.
Anybody else like to pitch in, talk about their experience? Um, Go ahead and unmute, and you could turn on your cameras, as long as we're all women, because last time we did have somebody breaking in. Okay, I'm just looking at the chat quickly. MV Life Coach, yes, please. Let's see, just meet with you, unmute her.
Good evening, Dr. Deepa and Ms. Lakshmi. This
Hi.
is Monica. I'm sorry, I'm not able to switch on the camera here. I am a mother of two children, and one of them is a teenager. So when I had my children, I had to join office at when my daughter was elder child was 5 months old. So I always had concerns on uh, giving her bottle bottled milk, stored
Mhm.
breast milk. So I just want to ask Dr. Deepa, is there any healthy alternative to giving that silicone nipples to the child?
Yeah, so we do have different forms of feeding now available. We have nifty cups which can be given. We can also have bottle with a spoon attached, so you need not have to use the silicone nipples. Also, bottles have also changed and evolved from about last 8 to 10 years. You have glass bottles now. You have stainless steel bottles. However, the teat, what you are saying, is still of silicone. So if you do not want to use that, then you can use the bottle with the spoon attached. You have many brands which are available, and that's also an easy option to feed the baby. And like I said, you have the nifty cup, which can also be used. You have the traditional stainless steel cup, which is like a palada, which is like a diya kind of a shaped spoon. That also can be used to feed the baby. However, when it comes to this age of say 6 months plus, sometimes these are a little bit not too practical for many parents. They do not like to give every spoon like 10 ml each time. So you can give it, you can even offer cup feeds for the baby. So that is also all right at that age.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, so we're about time, but thank you so much for joining us and sharing all the amazing knowledge. And there's Google with so much cluttered information, nothing like actually having conversation in person and discussing, getting deeper into it. And we definitely encourage all the moms to breastfeed and continue to breastfeed as long as you can. It's the best thing that you could do, and spread the word. And if there's a new mom in the community, encourage her as well. I feel like it's something that we all have to talk about and encourage each other. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you all have a great time and look forward for a conference on November 30th. We're super excited. We have a lot of exciting things planned. We are also planning a momathon where we're gonna have a lot of fun activities and a lot of fitness things, and Zumba to flash mob, all kind of good stuff. So we're quite excited. So a few months, so join in on our journey. And we're doing this to encourage moms to be their best selves on all aspects of life and spread the word, and let's make mom power and our moms community rock. So thank you and have a fabulous weekend. And thank you, Dr. Deepa, for joining
Thank
us.
you. Thank you for having me over.
Mhm. Bye, guys. Mom Power 360, an empowering community for moms just like you and me.